For our next speaker, very interesting siya kasi this will allow us to start stock trading or the platform first internationally, okay? Kasi makapenetrate mo yung iba-ibang markets. Second, without no knowledge at all. So, why don't we hear from Mr. Paul Familiaran himself to introduce us the what's copy trading all about and this new trend that will help us penetrate stocks trading. Okay?
Thank you. First off, everybody speaks Tagalog. Everybody speaks Tagalog. Patay. Nag-sweet ako. I don't speak Tagalog that much. I'm from Bacolod, so I'm Ilonggo by blood. I've stayed in Manila for 7 years. My Tagalog didn't improve, but I'll try my best. Okay? So just to give a little background about myself, I've been in the financial markets for 7 years now. I've always been based in Hong Kong. I started with a different brokerage. Etoro was one of my institutional clients for the past 5 years. I was fortunate enough that this year I started my own company. I do consulting for Etoro, so they gave me all the responsibility to run Southeast Asia. So I have a team in Hong Kong of 8 people. I have a bigger team in Shanghai of 40 people that handles Southeast Asia and China region, right? So my presentation today is very, very simple. It's the next generation of investing, right? How social copy trading balances the distribution of wealth, right? But before we start, can we just all stand up? Please rise. And a few favors, look at the people on your left, look at the people at your right, look at the people in front of you, at the back of you, and provide them positive affirmation in terms of financial freedom, right? Tell them, we're gonna be rich together, there's enough millions for everybody, right? The world is your ocean, ocean 5, right? Right? Come on, keep it going, right? And at the same time, just introduce yourself, right? Be a community. I think the biggest buzzword for today that I've been hearing is community, community, community. And that's what Etoro stands for. You can all sit down, right? Thank you guys. Right? And the reason why I ask you to say that and do that is very, very simple. I myself, I believe in the saying that if you dream of it, if you see it, and if you have the courage to speak it, it will happen, right? Yung problema in society is that we always dream, we always dream, but it ends up being a dream. Why? Because we don't say it, right? Who knows, maybe the person beside you is looking to invest in a restaurant and you're a good chef. There you go, you lost your chance of a financial investor, right? In the workplace, if you want to get a promotion, I never promoted any of my staff in the last 8 years if they never told me that they want to be managers, right? Why would I do that, right? It doesn't come from you, it's not organic. I do see your skills and talents, but until you say it that you want it, then let's have a conversation. It doesn't mean that because you say it, boss, can I have a salary raise? It's not an automatic yes, but it puts you in a conversation in front of me to review your performance, and we can go with the numbers and say, yes, you did a good job, here's 10% raise. You did a mediocre job, here's a 5% raise. You didn't do a good job, you have 2 weeks to improve, or else you're out of the company, right? Simple as that. Have a conversation, put it out there, right? Put it out there. Because the world is socially connected, right? If you don't connect with communities such as this one, if you don't put your dreams, your aspirations, your goals in life out there in the world is not gonna do you any favor. It's as simple as that, right? So now, because you said that, okay, I want to be rich, you will be rich, you will be financially free, you will find your success in life, I will help you, and I will give you tips in 2 conditions, right? Right? The first condition is I need you guys to participate, right? Let's make this very, very social. The second condition, I'll say it along the line later. So the first test for you guys is very simple. Right? Raise of hands who has a stock or a brokerage account. Raise. Brokerage account investment account. Come on, keep racing, right? Now, in your journey, come on, leave it up. In your journey of investing or trading the capital markets, who here is net positive? Meaning, hindi lang in the last 12 months you've been making money, but overall, if you've been trading 10 years, that 10 years track, I'm not saying 10 years straight you're positive, but at least as a whole you are positive. Come on, come on. I need to see this so that I need to wait where the room is. How long have you been trading, sir?
I've been trading since 2016.
2016, 2 years, right? And you've been net positive. Congratulations, right? You're only out of the 5 guys in the room who is enjoying the benefits of the capital markets. So let's proceed. Now that you know the statistics of the room, at least it gives you a clear picture of what the reality is. And the reality of the world is very simple. There is a current problem in wealth distribution, right? In the chart here, as you can see, the 20% of the population owns 94% of the world's resources, right? 20% of the human beings in the world owns 94% of the resources. So what does it mean? 80% of the poor, right, only share 6% of the total world's resources. If you even go deeper, right, the top 42 investors, rich people in the world, right, owns the same amount of wealth as 3.7 billion people in the world. Right? It's crazy. I can fill up this room now of 42 people in the world who may have control of the same resources as 3.7 billion. Does this statistic shock you guys? Right? And what's interesting is that as the years go by, the difference between allocation of wealth is getting worse and worse and worse. So here's a study of, I believe this is the World Economic Forum. Basically what they're saying is that in 1980, the score of the USA, Australia, UK started at 100, and currently it's around 200 to 220. How we got 220 doesn't matter, but what it means is that the separation of wealth became double. The rich are getting richer, and the poor remains poor, and the middle class gets stuck in the rat race. That's what it means. And what's interesting enough is we're in the fintech space. We use AI, machine learning, algorithms to do our day-to-day. The reality is in 2030, guys, that's 12 years from now, 800 people in the world will lose their jobs because of the rise of technological unemployment. So a lot of the workforce will be replaced by AIs, machine learning, everything. With the rise of blockchain, smart contracts, right? The world is getting automated, right? Through DAOs, decentralized autonomous organizations, right? Things like that. The world is getting smaller and has not like least and least need for physical labor, right? So ask yourself this question now, right? Is my job agamanin, right? Am I gonna be replaced by a robot, by a system, by an AI, by a software in the next 12 years? If yes, what are you doing now, right? How are you creating value for yourself? How are you making sure that you hedge that risk? I'm not even talking about markets yet, right? I'm just talking about the day-to-day realities of life, right? Luckily enough, there are people much smarter than me, much smarter than my CFO, much smarter than our CEO, who believes in the UBI concept, the Universal Basic Income. And these guys are prominent figures in the space. I'm sure you could easily tell one of them, two of them, three of them, or all four of them, right? Martin Luther King, Elon Musk. They believe that providing proper basic resources to everybody is the way to put yourself in the next level. The reason why you need basic income is because of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Obviously, you need physiological needs so that then you can move forward to the safetyness, the love and belongingness, self-affirmation, self-esteem, and then you reach your self-actualization, right? The problem a lot of times in the world is that we fail to even provide ourselves with the first thing, the physiological need, right? I hope that nobody in this room is still having a problem of finding his next meal, right? I'm sure everybody can buy me a Jollibee, right? Or a McDonald's, right? But moving on, UBI is a good concept. The problem is scalability, right? It requires a central agency to do it, either a communistic way or other ways of approaching it, right? But the problem is simple. People, as the years go by, have less trust in their governments, right? Who here is happy that Duterte is their president, right? Who here is not happy, right? Oh, okay, good. Right? Very good. If I would have voted, I would have voted for Duterte as well, right? Just to put it out there. But the reality is like people don't want to pay taxes anymore. They don't trust the system to do the UBI thing. Because in the Philippine setting, as much as it pains me, yeah, like you pay taxes, but where does it go? Do you see it? Do you feel it? Do you see your certain neighbors getting those things? Or things being subsidized, right? You can see the difference. The subsidy in Singapore is very concrete, right? You can see it, right? In the Philippines, do you feel it, right? So the UBI is a concept where I need to provide basic income to everybody, but it's very hard to scale, right? So the good thing about you guys is that